right now on 5 on your side at 10.
A violent attack inside the St. Louis City Justice Center. Tonight, a guard is recovering. Now his family is talking only to 5 on your side.
Obviously, he was by himself. Was there another, protocol, other guard around him? I don't know.
She was the queen of carpet. Tonight, a look inside a St. Louis icon's closet and items up for sale to honor her memory.
Heat is the big concern once again tonight as temperatures slow to cool. How long we have to endure this dangerous heat?
Yeah, we've endured 3 days, straight days of excessive heat warnings, and we still have 3 more days to go. The triple-digit temperatures and the oppressive humidity are staying put. Good evening, I'm Mike Bush.
And I'm Ann. All right, another day, another weather alert day. Let's get straight over to Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell with the weather first forecast.
You know, a lot of folks have said, hey, it's hot. We know it's hot. We have this in the summertime in St. Louis. This is different because of the amount of humidity that's going along with the heat. No, we're not breaking record high temperatures at this point, although that's certainly possible over the next couple of days. We'll be flirting with those daily records. 100 today, just 3 degrees shy of the record, but this morning's low, just 81 degrees. And we're in that same territory tomorrow. Right now, it's still 90 in St. Louis at 10 o'clock. And you add in the humidity, take that into account, it still feels like it's 103. We are not cooling off much during the overnight hours, nor will we as we head into tomorrow morning, which means we've got to kickstart that heat index right out of the get-go, and we're talking 115 to 120 in town for the heat index again tomorrow afternoon. There's not a whole lot of change coming over the next couple of days. The humidity stays high. This dangerous heat's going to last into Friday with a peak heat index running 110 to 120 tomorrow and Thursday. Then it looks like it backs off a little bit on Friday, and there is a big break coming this weekend. A reminder that CoolDownSt.Louis.org is a place where you can go not only for help, but you can also make easy online donations to help our seniors stay safe in this excessive heat.
And the excessive heat warning is impacting how students learn at a Metro East high school. New tonight, our Robert Townsend is live at, in Granite City to explain. Robert.
Hey there, Ann. You know, Granite City High School students will attend classes here remotely, and let me tell you, it's all because of the sweltering hot temperatures. The lingering heat wave is now temporarily halting all in-person classes for students at Granite City High School.
I think it's a good idea. We found out about it earlier this afternoon.
In a letter sent to parents, Superintendent Stephanie Can says the district is in the final stages of completing a summer HVAC project at the high school. She says the old system is still in place, but is heavily burdened by the excessive temperatures and is causing warmer temperatures inside the school building. As a result, for the rest of the week, students at Granite City High will learn remotely.
Some of the classrooms are warm.
Jana Moore's son is a 10th grader at the school. Her husband is also a football coach here.
You know, it's a good idea to bring them home so that they can remain safe while they still learn.
The superintendent says all students will follow their regular day schedule and attendance will be taken during each class period remotely. Night school will not be affected by the temporary heat-related change. Casey Broder's 2 daughters are juniors at the high school.
I'm okay with it. I'd rather be safe than sorry, just in case if the air does go out or they have any more issues, the kids would be at home, and especially kids with health issues.
So the new HVAC, hopefully that's a good upgrade to the building.
Now the students will return to in-person learning on Monday. We're live in Granite City. Robert Townsend, 5 on your side.
For more information on cooling centers and how to stay safe in these dangerous temperatures, text the word HEAT to 314-425-5355. We'll send it to your phone.
New tonight, the daughter of a corrections officer who was held hostage at the city jail this morning is talking about the terrifying event. It comes as community leaders are calling for change. 5 on your side's Brent Solomon is live now outside the Justice Center with more on his exclusive interview. Brent.
Well, the 73-year-old victim's daughter tells me that he loves coming to work here every day. He's been doing it for about 20 years now, but that he never thought something like this would happen. And tonight, local advocates are saying it shouldn't have to. Take a look at this video inside the St. Louis Justice Center Tuesday, moments after 2 inmates held a 73-year-old corrections officer hostage, all over the food they were being served.
It's very scary.
The victim's daughter, who asked not to be identified, spoke with her father when he was recovering in the hospital.
He got a busted lip, and I think he got a concussion.
Officials say 2 inmates attacked the corrections officer and held him against his will.
For up to 2 hours, his life was in danger. He wasn't protected by the city that he serves. There is severe understaffing. They are not able to adequately handle the amount of detainees that they have accepted at that facility.
Today, the Commissioner of Corrections for the jail would not address how many officers were working, citing security reasons. When asked if there's a need for community oversight,
I think this is merely an operation issue and has nothing to do with oversight. They were operating the way they should have been.
Even with all of the procedures that are supposed to protect him, the procedures that the warden today said worked just as they should, his life was put in danger.
Even the 73-year-old's daughter is left with questions.
I believe he was by himself. Was there another protocol, other guard around him? I don't know. My dad is not mean. He's very nice. My dad would never, he does his job.
So the Jail Oversight Board is asking to see video footage of the series of events that led up to the hostage situation here. They're giving the city 48 hours to honor their request. I'll be checking in to see if it happens. We're live in St. Louis tonight. Brent Solomon, 5 on your side.
And this isn't the first time inmates have revolted at the City Justice Center. Back in early 2021, you'll remember, there were 2 separate riots. In both cases, inmates let themselves out of their cells, broke windows, set fire, and threw furniture out onto the street. That led to a $7 million renovation of the jail. Today, the Commissioner of Corrections says the city has made major changes since that unrest, including improving food options.
Tonight, 15 St. Louis City Sheriff's deputies are back on the job. They've been rehired and cleared to work again. Earlier this month, the judge ruled Sheriff Vernon Betts did not hire them using standard procedures. Under state law, they must undergo background checks and be vetted by a judge. One applicant did withdraw their application. Tonight, Missouri Attorney General Andrew Bailey is putting St. Louis Mayor Tashara Jones on notice. He says her proposed gun legislation violates the Second Amendment rights of Missourians. The AG's warning comes just hours after Mayor Jones called for a ban on military-grade weapons in the city of St. Louis. It's one of the many proposed gun safety policies discussed at a community roundtable today. The proposed bill also includes preventing the transfer or sale of guns to minors and prohibits insurrectionists and people convicted of hate crimes from having guns. Mayor Jones calls gun violence a public health crisis and talked about how it's affected her own family.
Gun violence is a plague, and its painful touch has stung families across our region, and their experiences are sadly not unique in our city. I've been open about how gun violence has affected my family. The 7-year-old who accidentally shot himself just a few weeks ago was my cousin.
The bills the mayor wants to pass follow Board Bill 29, which the mayor has already signed into law. It regulates open carry in the city of St. Louis. The Board of Aldermen is expected to take up the new gun control legislation over the next several weeks.
Well, this weekend, you can buy items from the many closets of a Queen of St. Louis.
We're talking about the family of the late Becky Rothman, better known as Becky, Queen of Carpet. She's holding an estate sale for a good cause. Our Laura Barczewski talked with Becky's daughter tonight about why the family decided to honor her in this way.
Mike and Ann, all of the proceeds from this estate sale this weekend will go to Dress for Success, something Becky's daughter Rachel says was so important to her.
Becky Rothman, the St. Louis Queen of Carpet, was known for her glamorous outfits and humor in commercials for her family flooring business.
Hi, I'm Becky, the Queen of Carpet.
Becky had been fighting kidney disease and died just 3 months ago, leaving behind a lasting legacy of community service and a home full of treasures.
So it's really funny because this is not something her and I discussed before she passed. And, so she has like 4.5 closets full of shoes and clothing, and I was like, what am I going to do with all this stuff?
Her daughter, Rachel Reynolds, says that's the moment she knew her mom could give back to the community one more time.
Sure, so we're hosting an auction followed by an estate sale at the American Legion in Creve Coeur. Mostly formal and casual clothes, outerwear, accessories, bags and purses and shoes. All the proceeds will be donated to Dress for Success.
Reynolds says her mom worked with Dress for Success to get St. Louis women what they needed to thrive and be interview ready.
And she did help them pick out some clothes. She was wearing her green dress at the time and one of her crowns, and helped them pick out clothes, and they did little fashion shows for her, which she loved.
Dress for Success Global Ambassador Keisha Kent says Becky was an inspiration.
Growing up, to see the commercial, to see the energy, to see what she wore, to see her crowns always, it was really exciting as a girl, as a young adult as well, growing up in St. Louis.
Now Becky's treasures will find new homes, all while supporting future businesswomen just like her in the community she loved so much.
Such a pillar in our community, so why not do this? It's the perfect person to continue, and we'll make sure that we keep that legacy that she taught us. You look good, you feel good. It's a thing. It really is.
The estate sale is this weekend at the Creve Coeur American Legion on Saturday from 11 to 3 and Sunday 12 to 4. There's also an online auction going on right now, and again, all the proceeds will go to Dress for Success. Now, if you're wondering about her most famous pieces from the commercials, the family hopes to donate those to the Missouri History Museum. We have more info on KSDK.com.
A trip to the vet's office with your ailing pet could break the bank.
Pet insurance was always one of those things in the back of our minds.
But is it worth it? Tonight we break down what plans cover and don't cover. Tackling the heat.
Those games Friday night are going to be on turf, and those are going to be hot.
The big changes local high school football teams are making ahead of kickoff.
That Weather First Smuggy meter is about off the charts. We're tracking the changes coming this weekend.
Tonight, investigators are trying to figure out what caused an ambulance to catch fire on I-70. It happened this afternoon in the westbound lanes just east of Columbia. The fire spread to the grassy median. No one was hurt. A Bridgeton police officer is recovering tonight from serious injuries after getting hit by a car. It happened along I-70 in Earth City overnight. State troopers say a woman lost control of her car, hit two police SUVs parked on the shoulder. The driver was also taken to the hospital. Tonight in Pakistan, 7 children and their teacher are safe after a dramatic rescue from a cable car dangling 1,000 feet in the air. They became trapped after the cable snapped over a river canyon. Helicopters were able to rescue some of the students, but they were forced to land after the sun went down. Then they used improvised pulleys to rescue the rest of the group.
With student loan repayment plans resuming soon, tonight the White House is touting a new plan to make those payments more affordable. Online enrollment for the Saving on a Valuable Education, or SAVE plan, is now open. Monthly payments are based on income. It also curbs interest from growing if monthly payments are made. You can enroll at studentaid.gov. It's something all pet owners know firsthand. A trip to the veterinarian's office isn't cheap. So should you consider pet insurance? As Consumer Reports explains, the answer isn't always easy. When asked if he's a dog or a cat person, Consumer Reports investigative reporter Brian Vines answers both. He's the proud papa of a dog named Logo and a cat named Phoebe, who recently had an injury.
We opened the door and Phoebe came in, and she was very timid and stayed low to the ground. And she had a little spot on her hind leg. And we were like, what
Brian
has
does
happened?
not have pet insurance, so treating Phoebe would be entirely out of pocket.
Pet insurance was always one of those things in the back of our minds, like, oh, we ought to do that.
But is pet insurance something you should consider? For the first time, CR evaluated and rated 8 pet insurance providers based on a survey of its members with insured pets, looking at things such as premiums, what's covered, the claims process, and whether people had a choice in which vets to see.
We found that most people just aren't that satisfied with their pet insurance.
6 of the insurance providers earned just a mid-range overall satisfaction score, and 2 bottomed out with unfavorable ratings.
If you're considering pet insurance, there are some things you should know. Pre-existing conditions are typically not covered. There are usually annual caps. If you hit that limit, you'll have to pay out of pocket. You may be responsible for paying the provider directly and then file for reimbursement with the insurance company. So is pet insurance worth it?
If you're looking for a return on investment, maybe not so much. But if you value peace of mind, pet insurance may be something that you want to pursue.
Another option, telehealth, which is what Brian used.
Got instruction on how to clean the wound and a prescription for antibiotics that was delivered right to our door.
And thankfully, Phoebe healed just fine, using only 1 of her 9 lives.
Another option, take your pet to an accredited veterinary medical college, which may be able to offer discounts on everything from routine care visits to spaying and neutering.
The extreme heat is gripping the entire state of Missouri. Tonight in Kansas City, 7 nursing home residents are hospitalized after the air conditioner went out. Another 110 residents were evacuated and are spending the night in other facilities. And that extreme heat means local high school athletic departments are having to make changes. Really, all the schools are. DeSmet has moved football practice to later at night to avoid the hottest part of the day. And then some other high schools like Hazelwood, Central, they've moved practice to the very early mornings. We actually took an infrared thermometer on DeSmet's field this afternoon. The turf temperature was nearly 145 degrees.
This year it's hot, and this is something a little different. And you know, we're trying to keep everybody healthy and everybody safe, and still get a chance to play the game we love. Many teams have access to a physician if we need them on call to come in and do things too if we got an extreme situation, and hopefully it won't come to that.
The kickoff for DeSmet's season opener at Kirkwood this Friday has been pushed back to 8 p.m. The Missouri State High School Athletic Association requires water breaks during each quarter and team trainers to take temperature readings to monitor the conditions.
Well, as we mentioned earlier, the heat has us in a weather alert for the rest of the week. Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell joins us now with that Weather First forecast.
You know, and as we talked about earlier, and we've talked about over the last week or so, we just don't get the break during the overnight hours. Still feels like it's above 100 for some of us right now around the St. Louis area. Looking out into St. Charles, you don't see a lot of activity around the construction site there along 70 at Zumbell, but we know there's overnight construction, and it's still steamy at this point. Quiet scene up in Florissant this evening as you look at Sacred Heart. Well, here are the numbers, the peak heat index values that we had observed today. Now, these are the stations like Lambert we picked out and pulled out because this is where we get official observations. And theoretically, at least, we're supposed to get good quality data here. And for the most part, we seem to be getting that. Some of your personal weather stations may be a little bit skewed when it comes to the heat index values, but 117 was the highest over at Parks Airport and out at Spirit. 116 was the highest heat index today at St. Louis Lambert International. Now, these hourly dew point observations go back to 1946. So if you go back to that time and look at all the temperature and humidity levels, calculate the heat index, it has only been above 116 degrees 5 times. And one of those times was Sunday when it was 117. The other 3 times when it was higher, 118 back in July of 80, 118 in August of 95, and then the all-time highest heat index since 1946 was 120 back in 1995 in July. Now, you're looking at a bird. John sent this in. Notice the beak. You might have seen this too. Birds are almost panting out there trying to stay cool with this. You might have seen the squirrels exploding where they kind of spread out. The animals are trying to stay cool too, and your pets want to be inside in the air conditioning with you. It's in the 80s right now, but dew points are still in the upper 70s to lower 80s, so that makes it feel like it's well into the 90s and close to 100 in St. Louis. Right now, Lambert's at 90 degrees, the dew point 77, 100 are high. Right now, though, it feels like it is 103 degrees. 81 in town, outlying areas tonight dropping back into the 70s. There's not a whole lot happening here weather-wise other than the heat. Until we break this heat dome, which is not going to happen until the weekend, we're really just stuck in the pattern that we're in. You have moisture working into Texas. That was a remnants of the tropical storm. Our dangerous heat with the high temperatures above 100 will continue tomorrow through Friday. Then we'll start to get a break. The worst of the heat index again tomorrow afternoon, and Thursday afternoon. Then those numbers start to go down a bit. Can't emphasize enough staying hydrated, spending some time in air conditioning as much as you can. Take advantage of libraries, take advantage of the mall, take advantage of the theater, anywhere you can go. We will get a break. It'll still be in the lower 90s on Saturday, but the humidity starts backing off. And by Sunday, it's a lot more pleasant. We'll see temperatures in the mid-80s.
And Sunday is the MDA telethon, so that there'll be perfect weather for that.
Yes.
All right, Scott, thanks. Sports is next.
Remember when Linda Blair said in The Exorcist, "Mother, make it stop"? That's how many feel about Adam Wainwright's 2023 season. We'll be right back.
The Sports Desk is sponsored by Jim Butler Chevrolet, the Midwest's #1 Chevy dealer 10 years running.
The last time the Cardinals were winless for a season in Pittsburgh, Ann Allred was a junior in high school. Scott Connell was waking up at 2:30 a.m. for Today in St. Louis. Mike Bush was the sports director, and I was washing Mike's car. 1998 was a long time ago, but if the Cardinals lose tomorrow, they will go 0 for Pittsburgh this year. Cool moment, the Palacio brothers brought out the lineup cards tonight in Pittsburgh. Then in the 5th, Richie Palacios hits his first major league home run to tie the game at 1. What a feeling for this young man. Adam Wainwright took a no-hitter into the 4th, but was smashed in the 5th, giving up 5. Pirates win 6-3. Waino now 0 for 8 in going for victory number 199.
I don't know what to tell y'all. I don't know what to tell our fan base. What do I tell them? You know, what do I say? What can I say?
This 5 on Your Side St. Louis City SC coverage is sponsored by Together Credit Union.
If the only gripe people have with City SC is the television package on Apple, then this team is rolling, and they are. They go to Orlando on Saturday night with the best record in the West. They have to be the best set-piece soccer team in the land. 19 goals off set pieces. They lead the league with 49 goals. Is it preposterous to think that they could win it all this year?
There's a distinct chance. It hasn't happened since 1998, the second year of the league, when the Chicago Fire did so. Winning the overall league in your first year, that's unheard of. But not only are they in first place in the Western Conference, they're playing attractive soccer along with it. So they're second only to Cincinnati for total points. And the goal-scoring prowess, unlimited. That's why the stadium is packed for every game.
Kevin Kalish and SLU open up on Thursday versus Butler at Herman Stadium. I want you to take a look at Diego Canix. He could be an All-American, should be drafted. He's from the Netherlands, and he came to St. Louis partly because of our great soccer heritage.
Oh, yeah, no, for sure. I think talking to a lot of people around the soccer community in general in the United States, everyone was very well spoken about the community that is here in St. Louis. And I couldn't agree more. Being here, it reminds me a little bit of home, where there's just a lot of talk about the game, and there's a history to it as well, which is great. As we speak, fantasy football drafts are happening all over the country. There are over 40 million players in our country, including yours truly. The winner gets paid in the Escalade, and the person who finishes dead last in the league often faces a harsh punishment. A St. Louis league made their last place finisher spend 24 hours inside Courtesy Diner. He got to knock off 3 hours off his sentence with every slinger he ate. A league in Kansas City made their loser play in a U.S. Open qualifier. He shot 112 and finished dead last. And some leagues make their loser run a 5K in a suit and tie. Now that is nasty unless you're wearing comfortable clothing. My Stallion franchise has been competing for 20 years. Now, all I can say is, after a victory, the water tastes like wine. The food tastes better. The air is fresher. And even Monique looks more beautiful to me. I love fantasy football.
Yeah, we've got our big draft here at 5 on Your Side coming up on Saturday.
Well, thanks for the invite, guys.
Thanks, Frank. Well, a reminder that this year's Show of Strength MDA Telethon is a week early this year. Ann, Scott, Rennie, they'll all join me at Grant's Farm this Sunday night. And we'll be live on 5 on Your Side from 8 until 10 and on KSTK.com and the 5 Plus streaming app. And of course, all the money raised during the telethon goes to people fighting neuromuscular diseases right here in the St. Louis area. We'll be right back. Turns out those puzzles you have to solve on websites to prove you're a human and not a bot don't really work. Researchers at the University of California found bots solve CAPTCHA tests 100% of the time and in less than a second. It took humans up to 15 seconds, and they only got them correct 50 to 84% of the time.
Oh, that's how we know. Pickles and pineapple, they're two of the most divisive pizza toppings. Now DiGiorno is putting them together on one pie. The pineapple pickle pizza is made with a creamy garlic sauce on a hand-tossed crust. Unlimited number of pizzas will be given out for free on DiGiorno's website starting September 5th. It's a shtick.
No, that's a breach of crust. That's what that is. There you have it. 5 on Your Side at 10. The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon is next.